I'd like to give a warm welcome to all of you out there. As you know, my name is Renee, and you're watching Renee's Health Corner. And believe it or not, God really does care about your health. Last year, just about anywhere you look, sickness and disease are on the rise. In the United States, someone has a heart attack every 40 seconds. 1.4 million Americans are diagnosed with diabetes every year, and 1 in 2 people will get cancer in their lifetime. Excuse me. It was estimated there would be about 1.9 million new cancer cases diagnosed and 609,000 plus cancer deaths in the United States alone in 2022. There's also a rise in the number of strokes per year, gastrointestinal problems, lung conditions, lupus, multiple sclerosis, and the list goes on. The question is, why? Many people believe God is to blame, but is that really the case? In 3 John 2, in the Bible, we're told that God wants us to prosper and be in health. So if he wants us to prosper and to be in health, why is disease more rampant now than ever before? Well, I'd like to bring something to your mind for just a moment, something that many of us have learned in our lives at some point growing up, and that is, in the world, there are many different types of laws. We have civil law, natural law, laws of physics, sanitary laws, the laws of gravity, etc. For instance, let's go with the law of gravity. Many people know that what goes up must come down. Well, there's also other laws known as natural laws. And when these laws are neglected in any way, the result is sickness and disease. And over a period of time of neglecting the natural laws, more severe diseases like cancer can set in. And remember, all the information I'm going to share with you today is supported by the Bible, the spirit of prophecy, and or medical research and medical science. I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm asking that you just have a listening ear and a sharing spirit so that you can pass along everything you learn and help someone else. Now, over the last many videos, I've been covering the letter N for the subject of nutrition. And like I said, it's going to take several weeks to go through this because there's so many aspects covered under just this one topic. Last time I went over the subject of breakfast and how important it is. Well, today I'm going to be dealing with the consumption of sugar and the diseases that leads to. And I'm going to be telling you what sugar is, what foods are high in sugar, what problems result from having too much sugar in the diet, and which types of sweeteners are actually found to be the best. So I want to share some quotes with you, of course, first before we get started. And the first one is Proverbs 26:2 that says, "The curse causeless shall not come." In other words, there's a reason for what happens to us in our health. If you have a headache, there's a reason for it. It didn't just happen. Now, Job 29:16 says, "The cause which I knew not, I searched out." So anyway, then we're going to go to a spirit of prophecy. 3T21 paragraph 1 says, "Sugar, we know that a free use of these things is positively injurious to health. And in many cases, we think if it were not used at all, a much better state of health would be enjoyed." Now, I'm talking about refined sugar, not things like honey and maple syrup and molasses and, good unrefined sugars. There's also cane sugar that's unrefined. You can buy a cane sugar. I'm talking about refined sugars and like corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup and white sugar and those kinds of things. So then in the book Testimony Studies on Diet and Foods, page 121, it says, "From the light given me, sugar, when largely used, is more injurious than meat." Counsels on Diet and Foods, page 327, says sugar is not good for the stomach. It causes fermentation, and this clouds the brain and brings peevishness into the disposition. And counsels are sugar clogs the system, we're told, in Testimony Studies in Diet and Foods, and it hinders the working of the living machine. Anyway, so what is sugar? Well, sugar is a generalized name for a class of sweet flavored substances used as food. They are carbohydrates, and as this name implies, they are composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Excuse there's various types of sugar derived from different sources. We have simple sugars, which are called monosaccharides, and they include glucose, fructose, and galactose. The table or granulated sugar most commonly used is sucrose, and there's also fructose. People use fructose, and maltose and lactose. Now, other sugars that are found in the tissues of most plants, but they're only present in sufficient concentrations for efficient extraction in sugarcane and sugar beet. So how is white sugar made anyway? Well, white sugar is made a couple of ways. First, they mill white sugar as a result of sulfur dioxide being introduced to the cane juice before evaporation. It effectively bleaches the mixture. In the production of refined white sugar, which is the most common in the Western world, the raw sugar syrup is mixed with a heavy syrup and run through a centrifuge again to take away the outer coating of the raw sugar crystals. Phosphoric acid and calcium hydroxide are then added to the juice, which then combine and absorb and trap impurities. Alternatively, carbon dioxide is used to achieve the same effect. You can go to www.sucrose.com/learn and read about that. I'll have links below again. Now, here's some other facts about sugar. Approximately 200 years ago, Americans on average consumed 14 pounds of sugar every year per person. Today, the average is 1/4 to 1/2 a pound every single day per person. That's 90 to 180 pounds of sugar people put in their bodies every year. And I'm not doing that, so somebody's eating my share. Now, there's 120 teaspoons or 40 tablespoons of sugar in every pound of sugar. A half a pound is 60 teaspoons and a quarter pound is 30 teaspoons. Americans on the average swallow about 22 teaspoons per day. And many children, 20 to 40% of their daily caloric intake comes from sugar. The top 20 percentile are eating 40% of their calories from sugar. Just think about it. How many children eat sugar cereal in the morning before they go to school and have a bowl or two of sugar cereal? And then they pour milk on it, which turns it into alcohol. That's a whole nother subject. Anyway, the foods that contain the most sugar are soft drinks, followed by candy, cakes, cookies, and pies. Now, just one 12-ounce can of soda or pop, however you want to call it, contains about, some say 8, some say 10, some say 12 teaspoons of sugar. So anyway, it's a lot of sugar, whichever way you want to put it. Now, 2 tablespoons of sugar, excuse me, equals 100 added extra calories. According to the WHO, the WHO, total sugar in the diet from fruits, vegetables, and added sugars, including honey, should not make up more than 10% of total caloric intake. For a 2,000 caloric intake, this represents 200 calories from sugar, which is about 4 tablespoons. Now, men, they should not eat sugar many hours before a blood test because it can decrease the testosterone levels by 25%. So you men, don't do any sugar before you have that testosterone blood test. Now, brown sugar is really nothing more than white sugar mixed with molasses that makes it brown. So that's not any healthier. And fructose is very unhealthy too. Many people think, oh, I'm going to eat fructose. They think it's from fruit, but it's not pure fruit sugar. Now, I'm going to tell you some scientific names of sugar, and these are hidden. Some of these are hidden names. Agave nectar, Barbados sugar, barley malt, beet sugar, brown sugar, buttered syrup, cane crystals, cane juice crystals, cane sugar, caramel, carob syrup, castor sugar, confectioner sugar, which is powdered sugar, corn syrup, corn sweetener, corn syrup solids, crystalline fructose, demerara sugar, dextrin, dextran, dextrose, dietistic malt, dietase, D-mannose, evaporated cane juice, ethyl maltol, Florida crystals, free-flowing, fructose, galactose, glucose solids, golden sugar, golden syrup, granulated sugar, grape juice concentrate, high fructose corn syrup, better known as HFCS, icing sugar, invert sugar, lactose, malt syrup, maltodextrin, maltose, mannitol, muscovado sugar, pinoca, refiner syrup, rice syrup, sorbitol, sorghum syrup, sucrose, sugar, syrup, table sugar, treacle, and yellow sugar. And I'll have the links below for this too. Now, here's some foods where you can find sugar. Be sure to read your labels, because sugar is in many things. You'll be surprised the things that sugar is in that you would have never thought. It's in box foods, it's in breads, it's in cake mixes, candies, cakes, canned beans, canned foods, canned fruits, canned meats, canned nuts, canned vegetables, chocolate milk, cookies, dried nuts, frosting, fruit juices, fruit toppings, gel for cakes, gravy mixes. Why do you put sugar in gravy mix? I never put sugar when I make gravy. Icings, or frosting as some people call it, jams, jellies, juices, medicines, milk, packaged foods, peanut butter, pies, sauces, seasoning mixes, soft drinks, vegetable juices, and much, much more. Just read your labels and look for all those names of sugar. Now, here's something to keep in mind. Just 10 teaspoons of sugar will immobilize your immune system by 33% approximately. And 30 teaspoons of sugar will shut down the immune system for the whole day. This is why many people get very sluggish around 12 o'clock in the afternoon. They had a donut and coffee for breakfast, or maybe some sugary cereal, and by noon, they're very sluggish. Now, here's some food items where sugar can be found and is hiding even. Well, some are obvious, like apple pie, there's 12 teaspoons. A banana split, 25 teaspoons. 2-inch square brownie, 3 teaspoons. A chocolate bar, 7 teaspoons. Chocolate cake, a 1.5-inch square is 15 teaspoons. Chocolate fudge square, 4 teaspoons. Chocolate milk, 1 cup is 6 teaspoons. Cocoa, 1 cup is 4 teaspoons. Like I said, soft drinks, some say 8, but 10. Most people I've heard is 12 teaspoons of sugar. Some have even said up to 18, but I think that's too much. Glazed donut, 8 teaspoons. 1 stick of gum is a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. A tablespoon of honey is equal to 3 teaspoons of sugar. Ice cream, a 1/2 cup, 5 to 6 teaspoons. A jam, 1 tablespoon, 3 teaspoons of sugar. Jelly, 1 tablespoon, 2.5 teaspoons of sugar. Lemonade, 8-ounce glass is 7 teaspoons of sugar. Just 1 marshmallow is 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. Now, I'm not sure if that was the large ones or the small ones, but either way, it's a lot of sugar for 1 little marshmallow. 10-ounce milkshake, 7.5 teaspoons of sugar. Canned peaches, just 2 halves, so it'd be 1 peach is 3.25 teaspoons of sugar. Donut, plain donut, no frosting or anything, just a plain donut, 7 teaspoons of sugar. 1 slice of pumpkin pie, 10 teaspoons of sugar, and a 1/2 cup of sherbet, 6 to 8 teaspoons of sugar. Now, here's some health dangers of consuming sugar. It elevates your blood pressure. It elevates your triglycerides and your LDL. It causes a depletion of vitamins and minerals. It's responsible in the formation of gout. It clogs your arteries and can cause heart disease, liver damage, eye problems, or eye damage with your eyes. Your diabetes can be worsened if you have diabetes. It compromises your immune system, as I mentioned earlier. It fuels tumor growth. It makes your blood acidic. It depletes the body of B vitamins, causing nervousness and irritability and a lack of mental function. It decreases your energy levels. It increases bacteria buildup in your body. It increases the chance of infection. It causes obesity. It can cause cancer, candida, tooth decay, ADD, and ADHD. I know I raised 4 children, and my older 2 children were both diagnosed with that. And when they ate regular refined sugar, they were wild as could be. And sugar can cause strokes and asthma and obesity and hyperactivity, as I mentioned. It can lead to insulin resistance cause inflammation in the body, contributes to fatty liver disease, overworks your pancreas, overworks your adrenal stress, chronic fatigue, and much, much more. I'm going to have some links below to see how sugar affects your white blood cells and your, which is, / your immune system. And there's also a book you can read called Food and Behavior by Barbara Reed Stitt. And now I want you to keep these things in mind. Even when eating raw sugar, medical science recommends no more than 2 tablespoons per day. So if you make a dessert that contains 2 cups of sugar and you get 16 slices out of it, that would be 2 tablespoons of sugar in each slice, because there's 16 tablespoons of sugar in 1 cup. So 2 cups is 32. So that would be your recommended amount for the day. Now, let's say you make cookies that required only 1 cup of sugar, which is 16 tablespoons, and the batch of cookies you make makes 36 cookies. That would be a little less than half a tablespoon in each cookie. So you could have more than 1. You could, 2 of them would be 3 teaspoons, which would be 1 tablespoon. So 4 cookies would be 2 tablespoons. So if you're using a sweetener, try to stick to honey as much as possible. But even when eating honey, we have to, be sparing. Read the Bible, Proverbs 24:13 and 25:27. Make sure that your honey, too, is not purchased at a regular grocery store like Costco or Sam's Club. Get it from Trader Joe's, a honey farm, or a farmer's market, because they take the pollen out, and a lot of these places are feeding their bees high fructose corn syrup and other unhealthy sugars. Now, agave nectar, too, is just as harmful to the body as high fructose corn syrup. It's not natural. So many people think that's a good sweetener, but it's not. It's a toxic chemical. And many like to use it. It looks like honey. It's really sweet and it pours out nice. But over, several years ago, medical research has shown that this product is just as harmful to the body as high fructose corn syrup. Agave nectar sold in health food stores and some grocery stores is manufactured fructose. Research shows that this kind of fructose, which is the high fructose, is very bad for your health. Many people, including us, years ago, we believed that agave was simply the natural nectar from the agave plant, but then we found out differently. It's really just like corn syrup, but instead of using corn to make the sweetener, they use agave roots. This is the same plant from which tequila is made, which is a hard liquor. There's actually nothing natural about how they process the agave plant either, the roots. And the process actually forms a sweetener that's highly toxic to your liver and causes all kinds of health problems. So stay away from agave. Now, synthetically made fructose is much different than naturally occurring fructose found in fruit and honey and some vegetables. The best sweeteners to use is, of course, honey or dates. Even raisins, they're excellent too. Organic raw cane sugar is second best, but as I said, with all sugars, we need to use it sparingly, and we want our immune systems to be strong. So I'm also going to post some links below regarding facts about sugar, a sugar-coated documentary and what it does, brain chemistry, and some list of sugar names and sugar facts, and white sugar versus raw sugar, etc. So check out those links and study up on it. And I also am going to post a video about the dangers of consuming sugar, and it's called The Bitter Truth, The Bitter Truth by Dr. Robert Lustig. Now, soft drinks are, like I said, the single largest source of refined sugar in the United States. And everywhere you go, all these fast food restaurants, what do they give you? They want you to buy soft drinks. And, you get free refills. Well, big deal, so have some more sugar. Anyway, something sugar is good, though, is, even though it is a poison to the body, it is an excellent remedy externally for a diabetic ulcer, wound, infections, gangrene, etc. You just wet it a little bit and apply it to the affected areas, and it works great. Now, if you want to learn more about the harmful effects of sugar, you can do a Google search on your own, and there's lots and lots of links that talk about it. Lots of information regarding that. Anyway, a book I highly recommend that you get is called Health Power. It covers this subject, and it also includes the natural laws that I've been talking about. And if you want to purchase that, you can Google that. It's by Dr. Hans Deal. And anyway, it's a great book. I have it. It has a lot of great information in there. And anyway, well, that's all I've got to say today about sugar. I hope what you heard on here will be a blessing to you and to your family. And until we meet again, may the good Lord bless and keep you throughout the new week coming up. And remember, God loves you and He wants you to be in health. So eat that which is good. Bye-bye.